Okay, so we're going to try and walk through the two chord composition. We're going to start out in flat for education, okay? And we're going to make a new score. Two chord composition. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and set it for grand piano, and none of these instruments sound really good, but I'm going to try violin lead. We'll see how that sounds. Okay, so here's these two staff systems are going to play the piano, and then this is going to be the violin. So for as kind of a review, or for some of you it's new, let's review a scale. So here we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. In the choir world, that's Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. Okay, and if we use only those notes, let me do it here in the bass clef, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay, if we use only those notes and then we stack them on top of each other, stacking, I call it the snowman. Okay, so a snowman has three parts, and notice that it's not this. See, that's like a messed up snowman. No messed up snowman. Okay, so it's going to go line, 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 or space, space, space. Okay. Okay, this is taking me too long. You're just sitting here watching me do this. You can fast forward if it makes sense. Okay, so these are called tertian chords, meaning three, like ternary. They're based on three pitches, and they're all a third apart. Okay, so again, they stack in the treble clef. I'm not going to do all the treble clef, but it would look like that. Okay, so now you don't need to do this part, but I'm just showing you. This is what we call, oh, Jimmy. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Okay, so these are the Roman numerals we give them so that it's really easy and quick for musicians to talk, and they can say, oh, this song has a 2-5-1 progression, or a 2-4-1, or a 5-4-1. Now, if you never have the one chord in a song, then you're not really in that key. That isn't Do if you never visit Do. So just be aware that your song somewhere has to have the one chord. So for us, we're working on a 2-chord composition. Your composition is only going to have 2 chords, okay? I want one of them to be the one chord, and you can choose the other. And it can go in any order you want. Now, super quickly, I'm going to try to do this in less than, a minute. I don't want to bore you. But each of these chords has what we call a function. They have a purpose in life, okay? So if this is like a monarchy, the 1 is the queen or the king, okay? The 1 is the top dog, okay? So that's the queen, and the 5 is the queen's assistant. Or the 1 is the king, and the 5 is the king's assistant. Okay, so the 5's job is to lead us back to the 1. The 4 is like the 5's helper and also reports to the 1, though it's not as direct. Okay, and then all these other chords, their job is to lead information to the 4 or the 5, which then takes us back to the 1. Okay, now in lots of music, so in the real world, can a peasant go talk to the king? Sure. That relationship isn't as strong. They're a lot farther away. Okay, now I'm going to leave that analogy behind because I can only take it so far. So in 2024, can you go from any one of these chords to the one chord? Yes, you can. That's fine. Can you go from the one chord to any of these other chords? Yes, you can. It's done in music all the time. Okay. What would happen if you have a chord progression that's 2-3? Well, again, if you only use these two chords, then we're actually not in the one key. This is not Do, okay, if you only use these two. We call that like a more ambiguous key. We don't really know what key we're in. Maybe we're in this, maybe this is Do, maybe this is Do. So for this assignment, I want you to use the one chord and one other, and you decide what order you want them to be in, okay? So for the sake of this right now demonstrating to you, I'm going to use the 4 chord and the 1 chord, and I'm going to have the 4 chord go first, okay? So that means I'm only going to use these 3 notes in this measure, and then in the second measure, I'm only going to use these 3 notes, okay? So now I got to delete everything, but you look back and see if you want. There's the 4 chord. Maybe I should just copy it and paste it right there. There's the 4 chord, and there's the 1 chord, okay? So that's what I'm going to be using, okay? Oh, shoot. That's not going to delete for me, and I want all of these deleted. How do I delete it? Okay, remove. This is going to be a pain. Take forever. Sorry. Again, you can fast forward. Remove me, my son. Remove. No. But father. Okay, they're all removed. So now I'm going to go back to notes. And here's like your quarter note, half note, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to start really basic. And I'm just going to pick a pattern. Oh, shoot. I want that to be half notes. Okay, and now remember, shoot, for the 4 chord, I can use these 3 pitches in any order I want. Okay, so I think I'm going to do this. Okay, now notice I only have 2 of the 3 pitches in the chord. I'm missing one, all right? So in the treble clef, I'm going to go ahead. There's that A. That's an A. I'm missing that A. Okay. If you don't know your pitches yet, just rewind in the video and just use the pitches I showed you, even if you can't name them. That's okay. All right. So here we go. That is my 1 chord. Now I'm going to do the same pattern, but on the 4 chord. I mean, that's my 4 chord. Sorry, I'm confusing you. I'm confusing myself. That's the 4 chord. Now, this second measure, I want it to be the 1 chord. So I highlighted all. That's 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm getting down there by pushing the down arrow. I'm just transposing all the pitches up and down. Okay. So there is my 1 chord. See how I use the 1st and the 5th, the bottom note and the top note of the snowman, and then there's the middle note of the snowman, E. Okay, E, C, E, C. So if I go back to the beginning and I play this, aw, such a sweet little song, babies. Okay, so now I'm gonna paste this a couple more times. Okay, so there, in music, not always, but often we go in sets of 4 and 8. So there's 8 measures, okay? So now I'm still going to keep using the 4 chord and the 1 chord, but now I want to come up with a different pattern. See how all of these 8 measures, it's the same pattern? Now for this one, I want to come up with a different pattern, still using the same notes. What were the notes? They were that, okay? So now I'm going to change the pattern to one of these little guys. I'm going to make it 8th notes in the bass. Okay, so see that pattern? And then in the treble clef, I'm gonna, I'm just gonna do 8th notes here also. I mean, again, you can decide what you want the pattern to be. It can be anything you want it to be. That's too low for me. I like it up there. Okay, there we go. There, I'm just gonna do that. And literally, your pattern can be anything you want it to be as long as it is using these pitches they're from the 4 chord, okay? Now, just like I did before, I'll copy, paste. Now I'm going to move it down. Remember, it's on the 4, there's the 4 pitch, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now that's the 1 chord. Now I'm going to copy both, paste 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now I'm at measure, notice that's measure 16. Okay, so I have 8 measures of this pattern, 8 measures of this pattern. Okay, now I'm just going to go back, copy and paste this pattern again. So now I'm at measure 25, and now I want to do one more new pattern, okay? And let's go, I'm going to go way down here, this low F. And I think I'm going to make it eighth notes. Yeah, slap me some of that bass. Dum, 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 dum. Okay, so I'm just doing F octaves. That's a high F and a low F. Dum, 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 dum. Okay, kind of like this pattern. And then up here, since I'm missing the 3rd and the 5th of the chord, so I better put the 3rd and the 5th of the chord up here. So there's the 3rd, there's the 5th. And I think I'm just going to do half notes here. Again, you can choose. You can do whatever you want. You could do quarter notes, you could do eighth notes. This assignment is that I want you experiencing what different ones sound like. So what does this sound like? Take a listen. Okay, so that's kind of what that pattern sounds like. There we go. Oh, shoot. Yeah, so now I got to make this the 1 chord, right? 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I'm going to copy and paste. Uh-oh, what did I do? I deleted that note. Okay, so 4, 3, that's 1, 2, 3. So now I'm at measure 32, and then I'm just going to bring us back to this first one more time. And because I'm so cliche and I want things to sound like the end, I'm going to make this a whole note because then it'll sound like the end. And I'm going to make that a whole note. So take a listen if I start right here, how when it gets to here, it sounds like the end. Good, and to make it even sound more like the end, I think I'm going to add a high C. You don't need to know this information, but that's called, it's an imperfect cadence, plagal cadence, and now it's a perfect plagal cadence because it has a C on the bottom and a C on the top. And by putting do or tonic on both the bottom and the top, it will make it stronger. So now listen. Oh, so sweet, right? Another way to make an ending is to do like a rhythmic ending. So let me show you that real quick. If I go here, and what if I make that, and then why is that not working for me? Come on. Oh, this is going to take forever to, so now I make that 16th note. Okay. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to do this a different way because this is taking too long. I'm just going to do C. So now I'm going to make that an eighth note. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. That's what I want. Dude, make that. I want that to be 16th, 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 16th. And then there we go. So this is what I call like a rhythmic ending. Listen. And maybe what I should do here is change this. So this is a half note, and then on this note, a low C. And an eighth note. So now listen what that sounds like. That's right. You just want it to sound like the end so the audience knows or the listener knows. Oh, that's the end. Bum, 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 bum. Yay, the end. Mass applause. Crowd goes wild. Okay, so this whole composition only uses 2 chords. What is the form of this composition? Well, I'm going to call this pattern A. This is pattern B. Then we go back to A. Then this is something new, so I'm going to call that C. Then we go back to A. So it's called an A-B-A-C-A. Or in fancy terms, it's called a rondo. A-B-A-C-A. The whole thing only uses 2 chords. Okay? Now, what are the pitches in my 4 chord? Remember, this is based on the 4 chord, and this is based on the 1 chord. 4 chord. 2. Go to that one. 1 chord. Okay? Just so we can remember. So, what are the pitches in the 4 chord? F, A, C. What are the pitches in the 1 chord? C, E, G. Okay? So, the same thing, I can add violin. All right? Just to give it a little kind of juicy flavor, give it some melody. And maybe I want to, I'll do it. Okay, I'll go here. So I can do F, A, or C. Now in this measure, C, E, or G. And then those of you in my music theory class, you know, right, this fill-in roll. So I just skipped from there to there. And I skipped from there to there. So now I'm going to fill it in with 8th notes. And then... Okay, so what does this sound like together? Yeah, and then because so much of music repeats, I can just repeat this, right? I mean, again, you don't have to. I'm just showing you what. I'm still not used to flat. It takes me forever to figure this out. Okay, did that copy and paste? Yes, it did. Okay, now I'm going to make the ending a little bit different this time. I don't want it to be an exact copy, but it's okay if it starts the same. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. I'm just going to go to do, to tonic. Okay. I know I'm moving kind of fast, but so you don't... Again, I've been doing this a long time. Most of you have not, and that's okay. So just take a listen. Now it's going to change, so now I need a different melody, okay? But then when I go back to here, I can copy and paste this same melody, okay? You get the idea. I'll let you finish it out. Now, one more thing I want to show you, the magic export right there, okay? That little cloud, export. And if we export as a MIDI, notice it says full score with all parts. Yeah, we want to go ahead and do all the parts. I could, well, I wonder what that is like. Actually, I want to do that as piano and violin. I'm going to keep those separate because I think that will help me. I'll show you why I'm going to keep it separate. So I'm going to do it as a set of parts. Okay, and there it is right there, flat for education, 2 chord composition. So now if I go to my, this is Soundtrap, everybody's favorite DAW. Okay, so if I go to Soundtrap, and then I'm going to upload that file. Now, truthfully, for this assignment, you don't have to do this. I just think this is a way to make it sound better. So for those of you who are in IB choir and you're trying to test, I think I would put in the extra work, okay? This is one way to make it sound better. Those of you who are just kind of trying to do the bare minimum, this is just, you know, hey, why not? This is for funsies. This is for, but it's not required. So there's that file, right? And boom, there's my violin and there's my piano. Okay, and so what's nice about that is now I clicked on that little button. Now I can go here, and I decided, you know what? I don't want it piano. I want it to be celeste. Oh, boom. Listen to that. And then here, this string ensemble. Sure, let's keep it string ensemble. How does it sound? Oh, so pretty. It's like a little lullaby. Okay, but, oh, I want more reverb. Okay, you get the idea. Now, I'm like, dude, I want a banger. This is too slow. Okay, well then let's pump it up to 160. Oh, yeah. Right, so you can change the tempo right there. That's a little too fast for me, but let's try that. And then you're like, man, I really need to add some drums. Well, right there is loops. Okay, that's what that little thing means. And I'm going to add some drums. And let's just pick some randos. No. Ooh, Atlantis sounds good. Boy beat. Let's do the boy beat. Let's do the boy beat hats. And let's do the... Oh, where'd you go, boy beat? And the boy beat kick snare. Boom, now take a listen. Banger. So you get the idea. Play around with it. You can mess with other instruments, add drums. I think, so what key are we in? Remember, do you remember? We're in the key of C because that's the one chord. So if I put us in the key of C, I actually, some of these might not work, but let's try. I'm going to add some bass. And if you tell it what key we're in, it may or may not work. No, that's not going to work because we're in, notice right there it says A minor. Yeah, because our chord is the 4-chord member, and then which is F, and then the 1 chord C. Okay, but there you go. You get the idea. Now, one last thing to show you. Notice it says saved. I'm going to name this 2-chord composition. Okay, it has been saved. Now, if I go back to Soundtrap, this is actually how you download it. And right now it says mixing. It can take, honestly, up to 20 minutes to finish mixing. So I would say just leave it, you know, and go do your other work. Type. And then you come back here. When it's done mixing, right there you can download as an MP3. If you try and download from the studio view, I don't know why, but it won't let you download as an MP3 here. So like you can't export. See, you can only export MIDI, and I don't know why that. I don't know why they made it that way. That seems dumb. If you download the mix here, that is actually not a wave. MP3. It's gonna be a wave, and wave files are pretty big. Okay, they're better quality, higher quality, but they're too big for our like Canvas and stuff. I don't want them eating up all of the space in your computer. So, well, if you have a Chromebook, you don't have space on your computer, but you get the idea. So there you have it. Please ask me for help. I am here to help. If you are planning to test for IB, if you're an IB choir and you're planning to test, then you want to aim for some of your compositions need to be more on the 3-minute side, and some of your compositions only need to be like 1 minute. So you get to decide. If you do 1 minute on this project, then it just means on another one, it's going to need to be more like 3 minutes. If you do 3 minutes on this project, then it only needs to be 1 minute on another. Okay, ask me for help.